than ever.
Yeah.
Is this a real thing right now?
Oh, yeah.
It is. Yeah. We're not giving Manny any chance.
There's no warm up to it.
Warm up. Nothing. We had a little technical difficulty getting set up.
Right into the deep end of the pool.
It's literally, you guys just threw me into it.
Before we start, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Hayfla. Hayfla offers a wide range of products and solutions for the woodworking and furniture making industries, from hinges and drawer slides to connectors and dowels, sandpaper, wood glue, shop carts, and everything in between. Exclusive product lines such as Lux LED lighting and Slido door hardware ensure that every project you create is built to last. Learn more at hayfla.com. And going to be released on April 7th. We have Northeast Director Ed Cohen of Hayfla coming on the show.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a big one.
So that's the 5th. We record the 5th. It'll air.
Also a motorcyclist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. He's a big rider.
Like adventure riding?
Yeah, adventure riding, yeah.
So speaking of bikers, we're joined by our great friend, Manny Sirianni. Long overdue to come back on the show. We've been begging him to come. He's been denying our advances for quite some time.
He rolled in on his new HD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a while. When was the last episode?
That was episode 11 of season... I was misspeaking last week, too. Wild Willie was episode 8. You were episode 11 of season 1. So that was 2 years and 15 weeks ago.
Wow. It's really been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Deadwood had just gone out for his surgery. So it was just the three of us.
Lobotomy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I haven't heard that name in so long, Deadwood.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Deadwood in a long time. For the new listeners, Deadwood is our ex-business partner, who you may have heard in season 1.
Yeah.
No, he didn't make it into season 2.
No.
No, I don't remember season 2.
Actually, yeah, he was only in 10 episodes, and then a handful after that, the first 10 episodes, and then we'd pick him up from the train station.
He didn't make the cut after the
no.
Certain things he was saying on the microphone.
Retired, in air quotes.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
You know who has an opening, though, I heard?
That's true.
It'd be a good fit over there.
Tom's looking for some new guys.
Yeah, I'll get the lowdown for you.
Well, I guess, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Again?
Give a 20-second recap, or 20-second, whatever. What do they call that? Your elevator pitch.
Oh, yeah. Pretend you're on a speed date, like one of those, you sit down at the table.
Hey, don't date me. So I guess for the people that have heard the old episode, remember me from Thomas Cabinetry, we'll leave it at that.
Tom's Cabinet Shop. Where
I met these guys. Was there for a few years. And then finally parted ways and complete career change.
Yeah, so you were still working at Tom's when we recorded the first episode, right?
Yeah, I was there for still quite a while.
Yeah.
How much therapy after you left Tom's?
No therapist would see me. I would love to see one, but they wouldn't see me.
You need a platinum tier health insurance.
All the therapists in the area, when you fill out the questionnaire and then you see where you work, they go,
There's no health insurance premium that'll cover that.
Yeah, they're like, listen, I didn't sign up for this.
That's right.
You know it's bad when your employer gives you mental health days.
Yeah.
On top of vacation, sick time, family leave, but then you get mental health days.
Every day is a mental day over there.
Yeah, a lot has changed over there too.
Yeah. So you were emancipated from the TCC,
thankfully.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing for the last, what's it been, year and a half?
Not a half, about 14 months. Yeah, January was my technically 1 year over there. But yeah, it was right after Christmas time and stuff. Actually, I think I was on that job with you when I got the job offer. We went up to Hoboken.
Oh,
and I was babysitting the van.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were working at the new place at that point.
Nah.
Wow.
No. You guys needed a babysitter, and I said, screw it, I'll do it. And then it's kind of got the wheels turning on the whole job offer, settling things. And then I think it was that like a midweek thing? And then it was like over that weekend, kind of sat on it and said, you know what, it's time to make the move. I had enough people in my corner kind of pushing me along.
Time to cut the cord.
Yeah. Essentially what it was. Take a chance.
I don't know why I thought that you started working there like right after we recorded that first episode. That shows the frailty of the human memory.
Yeah. No, I mean there was probably talks about like
not just that.
No, it was quite a while after that. Because that was like you didn't start working there for another year after we recorded that episode. Yeah. Jeez, I can't believe I lasted that long even.
Yeah. And what do you do at your new place?
But weren't you at Timber for a while?
Oh, yeah.
That was before that episode.
Oh, okay. So did you had just gone back to Tom's?
No, that was actually, I would say that was probably a couple to few months. Because I was there, COVID hit, and then I was almost at my 1 year, but then, the way scheduling was working, because it was a smaller shop, they didn't really want, like too many people in there. So I said, screw it, instead of collecting unemployment, stuff like that. Obviously the door over at Tom's is open. Oh, yeah. So I made a call, said, hey.
That's a revolving door over there.
Yeah.
Never closes. They're like 7-Eleven.
Yeah, open 24/7.
Even on the holidays.
Tom in there at 3:00 in the morning.
Even on the holidays.
Especially on the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the late night stuff. Every time you try to stay for extra work just to do your own thing, you were never alone. As much as you wanted to be alone, you were never alone.
Oh, no.
It was that monster under the bed. Yeah, but COVID, so the whole COVID stuff happened, which is crazy that was that long ago.
I know.
And then I said, screw it, I'm not going to sit at home and collect unemployment. I'm going to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was about 2 months of being back over there, and no, real word about like when are things going to change there for me to come back. So my 1 year hit there, and I was like, all right, before I even come back, I want to sit down and have a review to see where we stand. And that's when I said, I'm not able to come back. And then just went right back to Tom's like I never left there a year later. And then I was there for, I would say, at least another year.
Like a dirty old slipper.
Yeah.
Like that dirty sock under the bed.
At the van door.
Like that crusty sock in the glove compartment.
Yeah, that was, I want to say at least it was another year. I mean, at least it felt like 10.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I think it was cold. Yeah, must have been cold when we did that Hoboken job.
That's how you know how long you've been there. You say, how long did it feel like I was there? Then you divide by like 15.
Yeah, it was.
So we've sort of been dancing around the subject. What are you doing now?
So currently now I work at a place. We'll keep that name unknown. But essentially it's a giant plant, over 100,000 square feet. One side of the plant is production line work of ambulances, rescue fire trucks, anything kind of EMS related.
Mm-hmm.
Then on our side of the building, it's kind of broken up into different sections. It's one big place, but there's a service area, which is like your general, like if you guys needed an oil change or a new motor, whatever, like that's
in a fire truck.
Not necessarily so there is a fire truck section of that on our side, but the service side is just for ambulance, EMS, even like normal cars, like if it's just like a Chiefs car or something like that.
Like a standard mechanic shop.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they do the alignments. They'll do a motor swap if they have to, you know, kind of keep the ambulances that can't be off the road back on the road as fast as possible. Then to like what you said, the fire truck, the one side of the building is all for like the bigger heavy rescue trucks and fire trucks, where there's, I think, 4 mechanics that usually deal with all that stuff over there. Then in the front of the building, we have it's a little bit smaller section, which is for what they call specials. So it's chief vehicles, special operation command units, stuff like that. My buddy actually, he's the head of that department. It's 2 guys, essentially. So, like, for instance, you could go in there with your Sprinter van and turn it into a full command center. And that's what, you know, they do.
That's
and then,
cool.
and our area is we're called remount. So if you were a township or a private entity of some sort, you have an old ambulance, a hazmat truck, whatever it is, you want to put it on a new chassis and kind of update your old box. That's what we take care of. So we make it as brand new as possible to whatever your budget is. And
so there's value in swapping the box out and putting it on a new chassis. Is that?
Yeah, because it's depending on the condition of the body and stuff and the interior and everything else, like how well it's been taken care of. It's usually worthwhile to kind of keep beating the dead horse, so to speak.
That's interesting.
I guess all that stuff in there is expensive, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All the gurneys and whatever.
Especially all the new units, which I don't know if it's for sure or not, but I think the state is like past something now where it's like all the ambulances have been coming in, getting updated with like this new gurney system. It's called Stryker. So it's all hydraulic assisted.
So, that sounds like something you want to be in when you're hurt or something. Put them in the Stryker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a pretty crazy system. It's crazy expensive. I mean, said and done, it's like $40,000.
Jeez.
Just to get that so people don't have to lift, that the EMS
there's like
guys don't have to
there's
lift
like
it?
minimal lifting. So the gurney itself is all hydraulic. And then the unit that slides out of the back of the ambulance is hydraulic assisted, like 2 little arms that come up. So it'll grab the front of the gurney. You can put the wheels up and it'll hold a full, I think, 400-pound, 500-pound person. Just
like cantilevered out like that?
Like way cantilevered. That's scary. The first time I saw it, I was like, there's no way this holds somebody, but apparently that's what it is.
And
so
people
I think
getting so fat, they're probably having a hard time getting people in there.
Sadly enough, I
think more women are able to do the job instead of lifting up.
Yeah, I think it was just
upper body strength thing.
Yeah. I guess you don't really know like what the situation is before you're loading somebody up into it. So I guess how much stress and everything else prior to even just getting to the back of the ambulance. But yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, there's just so much shit that I never. Are we allowed to?
Yeah.
Okay. Should have asked that in the beginning.
We'll let them fly. Not a
PG
exorbitant amount.
Okay. But yeah, I was just still to this day. I mean, like even today was another new thing of like, what's this little piece called, or what does this do? I mean, there's been a lot of like repetitiveness, but it's still all new. You know, even 14 months later, its mind is still absorbing so much stuff. And just, you know, you go home and you're like, shit, like, is that right? Is that wrong? Like, what do I got to do tomorrow?
Yeah, and plus you're getting a crash course in like all this medical and like emergency kind of stuff too.
Yeah,
it's like not just like the
stuff.
actual putting it all together, the fabrication aspect of it, but the knowing the terminology as to what this stuff even is.
Yeah,
you know?
which is that's still something I'm learning every day about. You know, we go through our list, and I would say probably 80 to 90% of the people there were, you know, some EMS of some sort or firefighter. So all the equipment aspect of stuff, like they understand it. And a person that I am, I always want to know as much as possible. And, you know, if I'm doing something, I want to know the background to it. So, you know, I'll ask questions, and then sometimes I'm like, shit, I should have never asked that question. But, you know, it's cool to know now, you know. But yeah, I mean, the medical side of it, the biological side of it, I mean, when the ambulances we get in, I mean, it's all volunteer stuff, very rarely like paid services. So it's like you get some like pretty worn down ones, pretty nasty ones. And then, even going through the back, we have to be super careful in the beginning when we're tearing them down. Gloves on, try to vacuum as much as possible. We always got to be like looking out for needles, any kind of bandages that have maybe didn't make the garbage can, any kind of blood that never got cleaned up. It's like
I didn't even think of that.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about it at first, and then like it was probably like my second week in, one of the other guys were like, "But you don't have gloves on." I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what do you mean? He's like, "You know what you're touching, right?" I was like, "It's just a tube. Like, what do you want to tell me instead of beating around the bush?" He's like, "Yeah, that's the suction tube. That's what sucks out. That's the dry tube." I had no idea. I was just given a task. It's kind of like I'm just barehanding this. I was changing out a trash bin. It just like and there was just a big hands up and everything. It's amazing. It's like stuff is hideous to come past, which I have to do viciously. It's exciting. It's tiring, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh.
Yeah. Like I said, even the repetitive stuff, it's still in its own way.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always going to be technological advances too.
And some things, yeah. I mean, we get some older stuff in that's like needs a whole lot of updating. So the box could come in with like an old school light bulb from it, and now they want to change out to all these individual lights. So it's a matter of taking that old stuff off, mapping out where they want to put all the new stuff, building up the front box, which is all new. So that's been a whole new game changer for me. Is that's actually in my life. It was like the first week or two in, it was like, hey, you have some welding experience. Aluminum. No, kind of a quick crash course on that, and then set the gloves. So
yeah, there you go. You got it figured out.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of aluminum work.
It's like a super specialized kind of thing.
Yeah, which I kind of wish I didn't get involved with it sometimes, especially welding up the skins of these boxes. So, like for instance, last few weeks, a couple weeks ago, I should say. It was a really old truck. It's been built since the 90s, early 2000s. So it's seen its days. Updating the front of it. So a bunch of stuff on the front of it. Close up a bunch of holes. Make a bunch of new holes. Weld in different plates. But it was like just so dirty and just been set down so many times over the years from, being repainted and stuff. It's just like trying to weld new aluminum to that. And then also being like conscious of the fact that like all the bodies are essentially put together. Like the skins on the frame are just a piece of 3M tape in between them. So if you put so much heat to it, you hear a nice little, and you just fucked up.
Oh, man.
So trying to do all that and not really understand them all the way, on top of the fact of like, what you have. I mean, when you break out a new book to try to figure it out, you can make it work. So it's been a few days where I was pulling my hair out, like, what am I doing wrong here?
Yeah, we all have those.
I had plenty of those days. I closed the garage down again one day.
Any damage on it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it's like a scuff in the...
It's a cap or two the other day. It's like, I think I'm just going to go in the corner over here and get the fetal position.
At least you didn't drive through it. Yeah, so between that stuff, like a lot of fabrication stuff, still a lot of woodworking, which is surprising enough. The cabinets, some console pieces, for like work I've done work here. I've been in the 4 years at the cabinet shop,
Wow.
which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that's 90% of the back of these things. It's work. I thought for the most part it was mostly aluminum cabinets and stuff, but it's all easy to blow out. Yeah. Got it out and everything.
Seeps into the seam.
They might use like solid surface or something like that.
Like some things, yeah, but I think for the most part it's just, I mean, the floor, I can flash the floors easily, but it's all the other little crevices, which is like another thing to like standards. It's like there's certain things that we do. Like if we send something out to be upholstered, if we don't really specify what it is, it comes back and the stitching is in the wrong spot, we have to send it back because it'll hold fluids. We can't have that.
It's like medical base.
Yeah.
For the flooring. You did that too, right?
Well, yeah, for housing and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole biohazard in itself.
Yeah, you gotta be able to mop, with the...
Yeah, it's all got to go up. No seams.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all rubber flooring. Everything's sealed. And like I said, any of the cushions that you sit on, any of like the the trim, it all has to be mindful of like, is it going to hold a fluid or is it going to let a fluid, escape?
Fluid dynamics.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot. So much stuff.
So aside from work, because I'm sure you got enough work, what else you got going on?
Just the second new bike after returning the other one. And that was just a year ago. I got that memory 2 days ago. That when I first bought that Sportster. Had that for, I think, 3 or 4 months. It was like, this isn't form. Yeah, it's not cutting, exactly. And then over the summertime, pulled the trigger on trading it in and pick up that 22 that's called a Street Bob. So like we were talking about, we were talking about earlier, like the soft tails.
Oh, yeah.
So right under the touring style bikes.
But the first bike was like a beginner's bike.
Yeah, it's literally what it was. And everyone talks me out of it. The guys that ride at work and the salesman originally. But I was like, I kind of know myself and can kind of be reckless on 2 wheels.
Oh, yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, so not being on a bike in years, I was like, let me just take it easy. Worst case scenario, I like working on stuff. If I want to make it faster, I'll make it faster. But it was more of like always having the girlfriend on the back of it, going out on adventures. It just wasn't enough for that.
No.
So it was actually in for service. And it was in for service at Harley. And then I was in there just, shooting the shit with the saleswoman and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? While I'm here, I needed a piece just to relocate the taillights so I could put little bags on the back of it. And he was like, yeah, they don't make anything for that one. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's like, nah, dude, you bought a Sportster, man. You're limited. Like he would always joke around with me. So I looked back at her and I was like, are we going to do this today? And so we decided, we're going to trade the thing in, and ended up getting the way bigger bike. So
that's the way to go.
Yeah, and they were cool about it. They took care of everything. I wasn't out of pocket anything. I don't carry over any balance because I guess Harley kind of knows that like the Sportster is the beginner bike.
Yeah, they're looking for you to trade up.
Yeah, and considering the fact I dumped, I don't know, another couple thousand into it.
Yeah.
On top
and they'll sell that to the next guy. That,
still sitting there.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Still sitting there.
I was going to say, they probably turn them over so fast.
No, because they run too many like good incentives sometimes. Like that's the only reason why I ended up doing it that day was because
new bike, I guess.
Yeah. No payments for like the first 3 months, because the credit was still good.
It's like our edge bander.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
3 months at $99. Then it goes up to the full price.
$10.99 a month.
Yeah, a little bit more.
How much is that one going to be?
All in, it's $55,500.
Jesus. But it's a time saver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All those cabinets you just saw, I just did all those, with the Conturo. It took forever. All
that
the
green
drawer
one.
boxes, everything. The black shop cabinets.
Yeah, but the Contour is at the green edge bander, right?
No, the little festival thing.
That thing is still around.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
No, so guy came yesterday morning to look at the edge bander, and it was running great. It was like
the best it ever ran.
Yeah.
The festival one.
No, the brand.
No, the green one. Yeah, he came to look at it to buy it, so the guy's going to buy it. It was doing everything except for like the front trim was like a little bit long. It was leaving the edge banding a little bit long. So then this morning I'm like, I can make these drawers. I'll just use the edge bander. We haven't used it at all. I couldn't get it to work.
No, he was a professional on that one.
So I don't know what. Somebody's looking out for us because
it's about time.
Yeah.
And how'd that whole thing happen with the edge bander? Like I kind of got briefed on it a little bit beforehand.
Oh, so Lou calls me one day and he's like, hey, we got this guy who came into the shop, this guy Brian, who he fixes machines. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, let me get his number. So he gave me his number. I called him. He's like, I'll be right over. I'm like, all right, I'll heat up the machine. So we turn on the machine. He comes by like a half hour later. He was looking at the wide belt sander at Tom's. And like he had that thing putting on edge banding in like literally 30 seconds.
The guy who was trying to sell you a new one.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was coming just to look at the edge bander because we wanted to get a price on fixing it.
Oh, okay.
So he got it putting on edge banding and didn't mess with anything else. And so, we grabbed his ear, we started talking, and we're like, listen, like cut to us straight. Is it worth putting any time or money into this thing? He's like, honestly, you could get it working, but it's always going to be a headache. It's the age of the machine. Like edge banders are, from working at Tom's, they're just naturally finicky.
Yeah, very problematic.
So all of a sudden you have a machine that's, almost 30 years old. You're going to have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
There's 20 processes going on inside that machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always loved watching the one at Tom's going, because you had to babysit it sometimes.
Yeah,
so.
all those little relay, it hits the little things. And
little actuators.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Everything.
So we said, well, he said, I'll send over some options as to like what's out there. So they sent over, was it 3 different edge banders? Mm-hmm. Was it 2? I think it was 2. The Flexi P and the Compact PCS.
Yeah. Was there another brand or was just the Sihisa?
I think it was just those. He was talking about the Hebrock, which is made by Altendorf, but I don't think they sent a price over.
Hebrock?
Yeah.
Where's that from?
Germany.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say a name like that, it's definitely not American made.
Yeah. Well, Sihisa is made in Spain. So he sent us the Flexi P and the Compact PCS. The Flexi P was like the super basic entry level, and it was probably half the price of the one that we got.
It was just Sportster.
Yeah.
We skipped the Sportster.
Yeah.
The scooter.
Not the Sportster that you had,
there.
like a bone stock.
Yeah,
like the
bone stock
the
sporty.
cheapest Sportster that they even have.
It's a girly sporty.
So this one, it's got pre-milling. It's got a spray unit, so like it sprays first and a anti-glue spray, and then before it hits the buffing wheel, it sprays on a cleaner, so it cleans the top of the yeah, it's
corner
cool.
rounding.
Yeah, so you can make doors. It'll round like this corner.
Oh, so you don't have to sit there for hours with a file?
Yeah,
and a quarter round afterward.
Ugh.
Pull out the routers, pull all 10 routers out to do one thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it does everything that we needed to, and stuff that we,
didn't even think of, probably.
Right, like the spray setup. I didn't even know they had that.
Is there a lot of maintenance with that?
I guess it's same as everything.
Same as any edge bander.
Same as Tom's.
It'll take the PUR glue.
Too much maintenance on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just cut a hole in it with a grinder.
Yeah.
I love the wide erase board that shows how much time has been spent maintaining that machine.
Yeah, and people would just write their names on it because no matter what you did, it would never get fixed anyway. So somebody looked at it, you wrote your name down, but that was about it.
Yes, when he bought that, he probably didn't even have him, school him on what to do. I don't know if he got that from Styles or not, but
well, even if they did, he knows best.
That's true.
So
he was glazed over in about 5 seconds.
Glaze? You mean like a donut?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we got Brian. Brian will come out on install day and do the setup and train us on how to use it and all that stuff.
I'll take copious notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Not in the fetal position.
Part of the reason, we bought it is Brian, you know what I mean? Like he ran a shop. Well, yeah, he ran a shop with like 100 guys and was running like multiples of these Sihisa machines. So like, they just give him a call. Hey, Brian, it's got an error 425. What's that mean? He probably, So it's like a service thing too. We could have got a different machine or a machine from somebody else, but thinking of it in terms of
you're paying for him and the machine.
Yeah, when you need help, it's worth the money to be able to get the help.
Yeah, especially when you're spending that kind of money on something.
Yeah,
and a tricky machine like an edge bander.
Yeah,
you're gonna need help somewhere, sometime in the future.
It's not like a cabinet saw where it's like, okay, the blade is spinning, we're good, that's it.
There's 1,000 moving parts.
Yeah, you kind of almost need to be a machinist to even understand it and just go with it.
Even that machine, as archaic as it is, it's got like a dozen motors in it. It's got all these actuators. I mean, there's probably 2 miles of airline inside of it. It's insane.
It's crazy how far technology has come, right?
I mean, it was a great machine in its day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But what you probably? I mean, did you ever use one of those back in the day?
No, the first edge bander I ever touched was at Tom's.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you saw my shop.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like maybe you snuck somewhere in, at another place.
I learned how to use every tool when I bought it.
And it was mostly by hand.
Yeah, luckily I still got all my fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the new one will do 5 millimeter thick wood edging too, like strips. So you can just like make them on the, cut them on the table saw and run them through the sander and just like feed them in like a freaking stick.
I've been so like far out of like the woodworking side of things. Like, what the hell would you even put 5 mil on?
Shelf edging or something, nosing.
Yeah, like if you put it on nice plywood, like it would almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So how's it? Yeah.
It's good. It's even better now.
Yeah.
When I pulled up, I was telling you guys about it. Just put a cam in it and stuff and got some more
grunt.
Yeah. Got some more go fast parts sitting at home I need to put on.
Yeah, Keith wants to know what your next mod's going to be.
For that guy? I mean, there's, like I said, there's a few parts. I got a crash bar I got to finally put on it, so if I ever decide to put this one down like I did the Sportster, at least it'll be more protected. I think I posted on the story last week or whatever, I was polishing up that manifold. So the throttle body goes on the end of that, and then that's where all the air is going to be coming in straight to the motor. So I guess Harley uses like this cheapo plastic, very restrictive kind of manifold right there, and ended up getting a good deal through Harley to pick it up. So they have like two versions of a cast version. They have a full CNC porta polished one. So the cast one is full ported. It's just not really polished. There's just all really rough cast in there. So I spent an hour's worth of just cleaning it up as best as I could for what it was. So that, some bigger injectors just to take up now for all the
fuel injected.
Yeah. Yep, 4 spark plugs, 2 cylinders. They've come by. And this is like the new style motor for Harley. It's Evo motors. You've probably heard of the pan heads, the shovel heads, stuff like that. So the M8 is like the new guy out there. Some people love them, some people hate them, but for the most part, like people who are building them love them. They got power. They sound good. It's kind of like old traditional Harley, should say. But other than that, I mean, other mods besides that, I mean, trying to get it painted, trying to find someone that can for a decent price because paint's expensive, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on paint.
Don't spend it in there.
I could do that.
That bike will fit in there easy.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah, that's true. Take it. Yeah, shit. Come fucking paint here. We got the PPS. You can paint one in there.
It's true. I could go down the street to the body shop and have them pull me the paint code. Maybe that'll be the next Greene Street episode.
Yeah. Oh, we got that guy came in too as a picture. Oh yeah, I never heard from him again. Some guy called this number called me a bunch of times. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I look it up, and it was came back to a person. So then finally, the guy I picked up. He's like, hey, I'm looking for a cabinet maker to just give me some advice. I got this job. I'm a painter, but he's like, can I have 5 minutes or something? I'm like, yeah. I'm just come.
You already took 5 minutes of my time.
Can I get 5 minutes back?
Yeah. I'm always on the end of trying to do the deed, and I'm waiting for them all to cash back in. But he comes over and he's like, I got this job repainting, painting these cabinet doors, and I need to do hinges and blah blah blah. So we were helping him out, figuring out what the hell was going on with the job. But he was saying that he's a pinstripe worker and he paints signs and
locally, or
yeah, he's a counselor or something.
Huh. I wonder if he goes to the bike events and stuff, because there's when they have bike events and stuff, some car shows, you always see a pinstriper there doing stuff. Or
you can pinstripe your bike while you're there.
Your bike or car, if you got a sign of some sort, a old piece of art. Yeah, I mean, pretty much any car show I've ever been to, even minus the little actual bike shows, it's there's always somebody there doing pinstriping.
Oh yeah.
And it's fascinating watching those guys.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, I could barely hold the spoon steady.
Yeah,
it's that brush never goes dry.
I don't. Yeah,
they're just running this line. I'm like, I don't want to paint on the first 1 inch.
Yeah, and it's just how the hell did you keep it steady that long?
Even painting in a house, you see these guys that cut in around the whole door without rolling the brush with paint. I'm like, how do you keep that much paint in the brush?
Yeah,
because I 6 inches and the brush is dry.
Yeah, I still despise painting with a brush or a roller. A couple weeks ago, it was I need you to come over and help paint some cabinets and cabinet doors for me. And I'm like, I'm going back into this again. I was like, I'll come if everything's ready to go for me. We went to Lowe's, picked out some Benjamin Moore paint, which, again, it's not really sprayed over every cabinet shop. One of those, like, Wagner outdoor sprayers. So we're in his basement, which is all dusty and just not set up, no ventilation, nothing like that. Have 2 pro ramps standing up to put the pieces down on top to spray. And then I hit the on switch for the sprayer. I never used one before, so I didn't realize that,
paint starts coming out.
No, paint coming out. Just started spraying, 60, 70 pieces all in the basement. You see this tornado down there. I'm like, this is going to be miserable.
Oh, man.
Didn't come out too bad for what it was. I mean, he knew it was going to be a kind of a crapshoot. If he hadn't seen it, he would have been proud of what was going on down there. But,
oh, man.
Some people are using this stuff and it's like every day. I got spoiled.
It's like that Benjamin Moore Advance with, the job for the electrician. He went to the bookstore and they sold him on this Benjamin Moore Advance. We went there and traded it out. I'm like, why do you guys recommend this? Like, what is it? It's like it's like made for dummies. Like it takes 16 hours for a recoat. Mm-hmm. So it's got like all the time in the world to like level out.
Run Starbucks, pick up your kid and do everything, and then you could finish painting it.
Yeah. It takes like a year to paint all this stuff.
Have you ever asked one of the employees at like a box store how to thin paint? What do you mean thin it? It still blows my mind that like I know how thick the shit was going to be, so I'm like, I'm going to try to spray it. I don't do rolling, I don't do brushes. Like I don't want to be involved with that. And he just wanted it done as fast as possible. So I was like, spend the money, buy the sprayer, because we're at the sprayer's garage this summer anyway. So it's like, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Is it the kind that has the cup at the bottom?
Yes, giant cup at the bottom. The whole thing is probably a foot long, weighs like 60 pounds.
Yeah, sci-fi like laser gun.
Yeah.
Two hands full on to spray.
It's like factory workers, so like you don't.
Oh, I was spraying with a 28-ounce cup, the pressure cup.
That's heavy.
Oh my god, my shoulder was killing me. It was like 3 straight days of spraying these big pamphlets like this.
Well, remember what happened? That's what happened to me at the end of Tom's. It broke my shoulder. I think that was also a combination of like this other illness that I have, but it was like perfect timing for it to happen. And my shoulder was out for almost a year, where I was like very limited motion, just trying to pick the arm out in front of me. My shoulder blade would always be protruding out of my back and stuff. It was just like the most stress. Yeah, it was repetitive stress. But then back in, my son was 2014 was born, so like 2012, 2013. I don't know if I talked about this in the first one or not, but woke up one day, my left shoulder was just like in a little bit of pain. All right, slept on around, big deal. We're over at Englishtown swap meet, and the day's just going on, the pain is getting worse. Get home, and like the pain is just excruciating. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Go to sleep, wake up the next day, and my left arm is in a curl position, like I'm holding a cup up to my mouth, kind of, and I can't go past 90. I couldn't extend my arm all the way out. I was stuck. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
I don't think we talked about that.
Oh, I know. I mean, definitely have talked about it with you guys, but yeah, so my arm, like from elbow down, couldn't go straight out. And if you had tried to pull it, it felt like it was just going to break off. So I was like, maybe it's just a pinched nerve or something. And me being me, not wanting to go to hospitals and stuff, I thought that for about a week and a half to probably 2 weeks. And then I was like, all right, there's something wrong here. So I found it's not going to go at all. It was crazy though, because I had like full motion from like I don't even know how to describe it, but like I could pick everything up from being
horizontal upward.
Yeah, like there was nothing wrong. But if I had tried to go past that 90 mark, it was getting over.
Your wrist work, but not your shoulder or your elbow.
No, the shoulder was fine. The bicep was fine. It literally just felt like the elbow was like locked in place. Like I can't even describe it. Like it
screwed or screwed.
No, it was probably both. But then, so I finally went to the hospital. I was like, told her what was going on. The nurse came in, did all the basic emergency room. Yeah, I think it was a review, which I had never been to that hospital. So she comes in and does all the things. I'm like, please don't try to stretch it out. Like, it hurts way too bad and it feels like it's going to break off. Like, when I say break off, like, think of taking a toothpick, a popsicle stick, and just snapping it in half. That's exactly what it would have felt like. The nurse comes in, and it's just this, and not to offend anybody, just this very strong-looking... I would have to imagine German woman. Old.
She's like, you shouldn't have said that thing about not straightening out the arm.
Yeah.
Because you know what we're going to do now.
She wasn't rat. No, it wasn't rat. It's like if you had that fetish and you had to pay a woman to beat you up, this is who would show up to your door.
From
but not
Central
attractive.
Casting.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Like that, you ever seen that Deuce Bigelow male gigolo movie?
Yes.
So the giant woman.
Exactly. But she was just shorter and stubbier and way angrier looking.
Oh, man.
And she didn't understand the fact that I was like, I'm not here for pain meds because even if you prescribe me something, I'm not taking it. So we can just rule that one out of the book. Don't try to pull my arm out, please. And it's the first thing she did. And it was just god awful. So that ended up happening. And she's like, you're going to have to go for imaging and blah, blah, blah. So it was like a couple weeks worth of like back and forth to hospitals, doing this, doing that.
That's the worst.
Couldn't find a goddamn thing. But my arm was stuck. Prior to all of that, you ever have one of those dreams where you know you can physically do something like running, but you can't do it in your dream?
Oh, yeah. It's like trying to punch underwater.
Yes. Or anything exactly like that. So I thought I was having one of those dreams where I hear an alarm going off and I'm trying to reach my phone and I'm trying to just use my thumb to push the cancel button. My thumb's not working. And then I realized, like, all right, no, I'm actually awake right now. And the last knuckle on my thumb is paralyzed. So I could move my thumb from the first knuckle, like at your hand, but then the knuckle, like towards the tip of your finger, was completely paralyzed. Couldn't move it, couldn't feel it, nothing. Just this kind of motion here. So I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And they couldn't find anything. And I'm like, it's clear enough evidence as to like, there's definitely something wrong here. So weeks go by, or actually probably a month or two. Then I get a phone call from like this weird doctor's office. Some like neurologist over in West Long Branch, like heard about the case from like somebody in MRI at Monmouth Medical or whatever. And he was like, come in, we're going to do some specialized testing on you. And I'm like, how much is this going to cost and stuff like that?
Hey, we've been sharing this confidential medical information amongst each other.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked. I'm not really sure how that worked.
I know it's your shoulder, but you have to take your pants off.
No, thankfully that wasn't the case. Yeah, but that was the weirdest part about it was like all the pain was in the shoulder, but everything not working was from like the elbow down, like complete paralysis of it. So I was like, okay. He's like, no, this is all pro bono. Like it's like a rare case. Yes, exactly what it ended up being. So I go into this office and he's like explaining to me what he's going to have to do. And he's like, it's an EMG test. I never knew what an EMG test was. I mean, I know I had like a lot of testing back when I was a kid for like stomach stuff, but never like an EMG test with electricity. And he's like explaining it to me. He's like, there's going to be a lot of discomfort, probably some pain. And if you're bad with needles, this is not going to be easy for you. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
This guy's a sadist.
Literally, if you saw the size of this rod he pulled out, like something you would probably use to stick a cattle with, you know?
Like your Human Centipede movie.
Oh my God. So he tells me he's got to go from like my neck all the way down to my fingertips. And he's going to be sticking me with this thing and shooting electricity into my arm all over the place. So finally, it was just something inside of my forearm. So like at the end of it all, he diagnosed it as a like disease syndrome kind of thing, like Parsonage-Turner syndrome. So essentially, your nervous system gets attacked by your antibodies. So starts in your shoulders. They call it I'm going to botch this, the brachial plexi area, like all the nerves that go down your like upper back and down your arms and stuff. My body just attacked itself out of nowhere.
So it's like an autoimmune thing almost.
I guess so. I never went back for more testing after the fact because it was just like it was going to start costing money at that point, and
this guy's just going to be jabbing you with an electronic.
Literally, I asked him. I was like, "What do I do?" And he's like, "The sad truth is, there's nothing you can do. It's either going to go away, it's either going to stay permanent. It can come back. It could affect your other arm. We don't know. It's just you just got to keep living life the way it is." So it was a year, almost a year of my arm being completely fine with the elbow bent upward, but anything past that point couldn't do it. My thumb was completely useless for well after a year. I mean, even to this day, it's like muscle in the forearm. It's like if I go to wave high really quickly with my left hand, it looks very silly, but my thumb just wants to automatically kick back in. So I always have to be conscious of like, even like when I'm working, there's a lot of times like I'm doing something with like an Allen key or a screwdriver or whatever, and I'll put my arm in the wrong position and it's frozen. And I start getting that really bad Charlie horse in the forearm. So then that's what I ended up thinking happened again at Tom's with the whole like overstretching the shoulder, because it was literally the same exact symptoms. It just started off with like a little bit of shoulder pain for a couple days, and then it was the night before actually Valentine's Day, and it's like midnight, and I'm calling people. I'm like, hey, do you know how to like put a dislocated shoulder back in? Like that's how bad it was. Like shoulder was like all sunken down, shoulder blade was all out, like we thought maybe it slipped out of its socket or something. So we're calling people at 12 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, it's like, can you do this? So woke up, called Tom, and I was like, hey, obviously don't have health insurance through you because it's too much money. Will you pay for me to go to the walk-in clinic or something? Because I even sent them pictures. I was like, my shoulder's really bad right now. And I already missed like a day of work because of it. And we go there and she's like, yeah, it's just, you just overworked it. I was like, okay. So it was another full year. So it went from Valentine's Day to Valentine's Day until the shoulder was like completely healed, where it was like, motions. Like I was, a foot difference between where the right arm could go to where the left arm could go. And I'm like, this can't be like happening. Like
the shoulder is like such a fragile part of the body. It's like the most commonly injured, like in like lifting weights and stuff like that. It's like the most commonly injured.
Yeah, which is weird because I've never had shoulder injuries at all.
I hurt my shoulder once, and it took probably 7 or 8 years before it was, where I wouldn't re-injure it. That's what happens, It's like you do something, you think it's okay, and then you just lift something the wrong way, and there it goes again.
It's like getting out of bed on the wrong side,
I thought I just chalked it up to being old.
Yeah, I just chalked it up to thinking it was just going to be like I sprained it, but it's just like you find out about all these other like weird medical things out there, and it's just like what are the chances of like your body attacking itself? And it's like you don't know if you're going to be paralyzed.
That sounds scary as hell.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if it's when it's going to happen again, if it's going to happen again. I had to stop riding bikes because of it. Even I had to stop, for the most part, painting for a little while. I had to, kind of guide somebody else while I was still over at Tom's. I forget how long that was for, but that was for a while where even painting for me was really difficult because even holding a water bottle like almost straight out in front of me hurt. Like I had no strength.
That cantilever. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even the shoulder. It was the back muscle. Like the whole, what's it? The scapula? Scapula.
Yeah.
So as I put my arm out, it would protrude out of my back, as if like when you try to like put your your arm back. That's exactly what it was. Anytime I put my arm out, it's like whatever that muscle connecting anything, whatever it was back there, just wasn't doing its job. So even holding 2 pounds out in front of me was just like felt like I was holding 70. But then when I started the new job, I was still waiting to like recover to see. And a lot of it's overhead work. When we pick those things up in the air and trying to do things, it was just like, felt like my armpit was going to tear open because it was like that nerve in there. And and then all of a sudden, just came back one day. I woke up and I was like, oh, my shoulder's back. Like, not my shoulder, but my, everything's back in place. I can move it. I mean, it was sore. And then it was just like months of getting it back to full strength and everything.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, but the human body is bizarre.
It is. That was an interesting trip.
Yeah. I don't want to relive it. And I didn't think I was going to relive it after the left arm, but then the right arm had to happen too. But yeah, I think it is probably some like autoimmune thing because it's like got diagnosed with shingles when I was 30, 29.
Did you have chicken pox?
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. Everybody who's had chicken pox has shingles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but whether it comes out or not.
You have to have had chicken pox. Like if you never had chicken pox, you can't get shingles.
Yeah, I never had chicken pox. I never had any of the childhood diseases.
You probably missed a lot of vaccines growing up then.
Yeah.
A lot of those shots you get jabbed with when you're born and growing up.
But I
think they have a chickenpox vaccine now, right?
Yeah, there's got to be something. Nothing for the shingles.
We got the measles, mumps, and rubella.
Yeah,
Not polio?
MMR, they call it.
Yeah.
No polio?
No, I was a little bit too young for polio, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
positive
What,
what
they
I
stopped
got.
giving that out because they cured it?
Yeah.
They eradicated
They
it?
eradicated it, yeah. I can't remember, but I got the vaccines and stuff like that when I was a kid, yeah. I just never got any of those diseases.
It just makes you wonder, like, just how fragile, like, the human body is.
Yeah, it's like a freaking eggshell.
Yeah, because it was again, just like all the other shit. Woke up one day and I'm like, what's this like thing on my side, And that's when I was doing flooring. So then it's like, I thought it was like maybe a reaction to something or whatever. And it was just like horrible, horrible nerve pain. And, trying to do carpet and picking things up and rubbing against your side. There was times where I just fell to the floor and, we had to make the best of it. But then finally went to the clinic and she's like, do you mind if I bring in like the practice? Like, I guess she was training or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, why? Like, she's like, you're the youngest person to come in here with shingles. And I'm like, okay, like.
Yeah, sometimes you get shingles like in your eyes.
Oh yeah, my God. I've seen that.
I think Allie's mom had it like on her eyelids or something.
Yeah, the face, the eyes. Thankfully, it was only like on my ribs.
How long does it last?
I think it like varies. I know mine was like probably a month or so.
Oh God, something to look forward to.
Yeah, it was like one of those things. You may get it, you may not get it,
The only thing I could think of is when I got my first ulcer.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had an ulcer.
And it was just like one day I just was like, crunched over like you couldn't move because you had so much pain. And then you go places, you go to like whoever you can see.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what's wrong with you.
You got gas pains.
Did you try taking Robitussin?
Take test.
Go drink some milk.
Finally, you got yourself a duodenal ulcer there, my young man.
Did you eat a lot of spicy food?
I think it was probably like stress and those types of things.
The number one killer, stress.
Yeah. I got a nice eye twitch that I've had for about 3 weeks now that won't go away from the stress. And I got 4 cavities.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of everything in my life, I've never had a cavity yet.
Me neither until I hit my 30s, until we started Greene Street.
Yeah.
So I was there a couple weeks ago. So Tuesday, I got to go get 4 fillings.
You're going Tuesday. I got to go back Monday.
Yeah, this place, they're making a mint off the 2 of us.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So I'm there.
Well, I see the name Greene Street. They know you guys have made money over here.
Everybody talks about this Greene Street money. It's fictitious. She's like, oh, so, how's it been? I heard you guys moved to the new shop, blah, 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 because Rob goes there, too. I'm like, it's good, stressed out. It's a lot. It's been a lot with the move, blah, blah, blah. And then she gets in there. She's like, oh, yeah, I could tell you've been stressed. She's like, you got a lot of buildup, blah, blah. Apparently, like, stress can cause tooth decay. And, like, I'm like, what the hell?
Thanks for slapping me in the face, though,
Yeah, then the dentist comes in, he gets in there. He's like, oh, yep, okay, 5, 7, 12. He's like, yep, got 4 cavities. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't even eat candy.
Yeah.
Jeff goes there. I go there. The wives both go there.
So you're the one paying him off to get him in there.
Oh, Allie's whole family goes there too. Like, everybody.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never had a cavity, but now it's going to happen. I'm here at Greene Street.
I have one crown. I had a cracked tooth that turned into a cavity, I guess. It's been like a year, about 18 months ago. Because I go every 6 months. I had 2 cavities, and that was what the hell? Like, I went 30 some odd years.
You're going to doing that Halloween special.
Yeah. I floss. Just sugar.
I can't believe stress causes tooth decay.
Stress is everything.
It is. Just having your job. It's not angry mental stress. It's just like so much to take in, and like the reward ratio.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, just think about like 100,000 plus. You know, you make one small mistake, it's like it's a big deal. Or just putting on a door. If you miss and you hit the counter box in there, it's like can't go to the customer that way. You're now spending a waste of time pulling everything out and a brand new thing.
Can't just put a goof plate on it?
No.
Get out the
They do request them, though. It's funny you bring that up. They do request them. There's customers that are like, yeah, just make a plate to cover it. But we still make it look nice.
Mm-hmm. Like refitting something and they know that there's going to be a hole.
Yeah, so they call it the life support station. So like typically it's on the left hand or the driver's side inside the box. So there's usually a seat right next to that. And that's a CPR seat for one person to perform CPR and stuff. Oxygen, the suction, all that stuff is right there to kind of get to the patient quickly. So like there'll be radios and stuff in there too. So a lot of times like, because all this stuff is super expensive. So it's like if the township needs to cut a corner somewhere, it's like, hey, don't pull all this down and remake it. Just make a nice plate and cover it. You know, so we do that from time to time.
And who's in there, like very dying, like, hey, what's that goof plate up there?
Yeah. I actually can't wait until my next time being in an ambulance, just so I can have like
picking it apart.
Yeah. You guys don't ever change that or anything, or let me bring you some buttons next time, like fucking chill apart.
It's like going to a restaurant where somebody's house and what's up with that casing? With the gap in it.
Yeah. It is kind of amazing when you're in service, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like those little things. Obviously can't cut corners in this stuff. There's some of the procedures you have to go through. Like, you want to pull your hair out because you're like, if we could just move this, or if we could just put a hole right here, like we could save a week's worth of time, but not allowed to do it. Like new chassis, we can't put any kind of holes through the frame. I mean, we're talking like a half-inch hole amongst the 30,000 other holes that come from the factory, but we have to do that to get the body bolts on. So, like on our side, it's a little bit different than on the production side. They have to mount the boxes to the chassis. They're just slid in and everything's welded and built out. So it's however they want to do it. On our side, because it's an old box and we have to mount the chassis, we have to make sure all the body bolts are obviously going to work. And if we have to replace them, it's a whole big spiel to get those things replaced. But then we have to put the boxes down on top of the chassis. So we're trying to line up, I think, 12 bolts, make sure that the adhesive that we use on the back of the cab to make the front of the box is like to be perfect. And it's like it's pretty amazing. Like actually, like the first time I was like sweating profusely, like holy shit, this is what you guys do. It was like not prepared for it whatsoever. But there's just I don't I wish I could share more of it. I think I was talking to Keith the one day, and again, it just sucks that like I can't take videos of things or take pictures of things and just kind of like show some of the day-to-day because it's,
skilled.
Yeah, and it's just like a competitor seeing how other places do it because,
true.
There's not many places like this. When you think about it, when's the last time you ever heard of an ambulance manufacturer or someone that builds fire trucks?
Right. Yeah, because it's a pretty, premier place, too, right?
New Jersey, yeah. I mean, there's a few other places that, like civilian vehicle type stuff, like, let's say, like, police and stuff like that, like the Tahoes and police cars and stuff. But for New Jersey, I don't really know of any other, I think there's one other manufacturer, but I've never really, heard much about it.
Yeah.
We get trucks from all over the place.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys get it from other states, too.
Yeah, a lot of...
Maryland, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the first two trucks, the big trucks I worked on, those weren't even ambulance. Those were hazmat trucks. So those came off of, originally they were a Ford E-Series, and then they were getting remounted to a Dodge, 5500. So there was a lot involved to make that conversion.
Yeah,
so you guys, when you change out the box, is the cab new or is the cab old?
So we don't remount to old chassis. So if you came in with a 2021 chassis, if you're not getting service work, if you're getting remount work, since I've been there, we've never remounted. We've never taken a box off to do anything and remounted it back onto an old chassis. It's always a brand new chassis. So right now, some of the trucks we have are even 2023s.
But is the cab part of the chassis, or that's
yes? Yeah, so it's literally just
a cab and a
yeah.
frame.
So think of the van with the whole back end of it cut off, or think of like a single single cab pickup truck without the bed on it. It's just a cab, but it doesn't even have a cab back on it. It's an open wall. So they come and it's just plastic.
Oh, is there like a pass-through that goes into the...
So, yeah. So some of the like smaller, like the E-Series ones, it's just like a little tiny pass-through door. On the like the international, the bigger trucks, internationals, and the Fs, and like the Ford F-Series and like the Dodges, they have like their own pass-through system. So it kind of looks like that accordion thing between the trains, the cabooses. They call it the bulbous. Yeah. So there's an actual like little pass-through. But the E-Series, it's the old box made it directly up to the back of the new cab. So...
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of the ambulance you see are those Ford E-Series.
Yeah, it's rare to see the bigger ones. I mean, if you go to like bigger cities, like more industrial stuff, you'll see some of like the bigger trucks. Like there's a couple right now for T-Neck that we're doing, which are like older Freightliners, and they're just really big trucks. Well, I mean, they're big for what they are, just because of, I guess, conditions, road conditions, and medical equipment, and what have you.
What do the Dodge ones look like? They look like that Sprinter van?
No,
like a ProMaster?
They look like think of your giant landscaping truck. The 5500s with usually the 4-seaters. For some of like the extended ones.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Dodge like that.
Dodge 5500
looks like a giant pickup truck.
Yeah, with a big box on the back of it. Yeah.
Is it a Ram?
You know what? I guess it would be the Ram series now, right?
Ram 5500. I'm in the internet.
You're in the dead
box
zone.
Of hell like that?
Yeah, so the single cabs,
yeah,
the quad cabs.
There's something about the Ram when you get into the 2500 and above. They just look so much cooler than the 1500.
Well, they look like trucks. Huh. No offense,
It's expensive enough to get into the 1500.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do when my lease is up on that.
I'm not going to buy it out?
No, a lease is a write-off for me.
Oh, yeah?
As a business owner, you can write off your lease.
Well, after that new Edge banner, it's time for a Mercedes
I was thinking about
G-Wagon
I was thinking about a little Metris.
Oh, yeah? It's not too small
that
for
or
you?
Pickup. No, you could put a lot in those.
Yeah,
in the Metris?
I need something I could throw stuff into.
You could put a 4x8 sheet in the Metris.
ProMaster.
Yeah. You could put like 60 sheets or something in there, 3/4 inch material in the bag. The payload on a Metris is insane.
But that's the little one, right?
Yeah.
You can
just
put
for
that
my
much
personal,
in there?
just for my personal vehicle.
Oh. The ProMaster. What are you doing?
Oh God.
Oh, God, no. The turd.
With the trailer axles on it.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. It does have, and it's front-wheel drive.
It's literally like a trailer axle.
Yeah. Ugh.
With these like little tiny leaf springs.
You can't even shut the door without it breaking.
Gotta formica window.
Well, if you get any kind of Ford 350 and up or Dodge, you now have a hookup to getting some special parts for it.
That's true. See what you can scavenge off the assembly floor.
Like the liquid spring kits we put in. I've heard about it because, like I said, I've had friends that work there and one that works there now, but kept talking about liquid spring. I'm like, what the hell is liquid spring? Like, I know airbag.
Inside of a...
It's literally a hydraulic system. Like that video I sent the other day of the lowrider going through the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally hydraulic system. So you rip out all the... I mean, typically, like, we use just the rears, but some of the townships want hydraulic all the way around. It's just a massive hydraulic cylinder that takes place of the leaf springs and the airbag, and that's your suspension now, So it's all incorporated with the ambulance. So if you open up the doors, it automatically squats. You can turn it. You can turn it on. You can turn it off.
So what keeps it like? I don't know anything about hydraulics, but like to me, they're either like not moving or moving, but they're like locked when they're not moving. What lets it move like when you go over a bump?
I think
some kind of like pressure like valve.
Yeah, so it's just like, think about like inflating a balloon.
Must be computer controlled.
Yeah.
Well, no, you could do it manually. So
no, but I mean the part that lets it work.
Like when you're just driving.
On like complete systems, yeah. So there's ride height sensors.
Yeah.
That we have to set up and stuff to kind of make sure that everything is obviously level, but then when it goes to squat down, it picks up the right height because they have to be at a right height to get a gurney in. So we have to make sure we set that all up correctly.
But like when you go over a bump, you're driving, you go over a bump. Does it sense the bump and then the hydraulics move to compensate for this?
It's not rigid all the way. So it's only fully rigid when it's fully inflated, so to speak. I mean, to make it sound the easiest way possible. Like, I guess for anyone who doesn't understand anything about it.
It's got some flow factor to it.
It does literally have flow factor. Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, think about like this water bottle. It's not all the way full. So there's still some give to it.
Right.
There's your shock right there. So whatever the amount of fluid is in it, that's kind of what you're allowing it to do. Like I said, the only time it's fully rigid would be, I guess, when it was all the way sagged out. There's no fluid in the system and it's bottomed out. Or when it's at its max, when it's completely topped.
Is that like forks on a motorcycle filled with oil?
Yeah, I mean hydraulic fluid, but yeah. There's a little pump system that we mount in the back of the chassis and stuff, and it's all. This stuff is computer controlled, but you could easily hook it up to manual valves like you do for your shop air, and make it work manually. You know, it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
Our forklift is leaking hydraulic fluid. Well, there's something. I don't know what the hell it is.
Call Brian. That's what he works on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I had a guy who was like, when we were looking for a forklift, I was calling all over. And then, 6 months later, guy's like, hey, you still looking for a forklift? I'm like, no, we bought one. I said, but do you guys do service? I said, I just, I want to know how much it would be, because we want to maintain it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, email me over this stuff. So I email it over. And then he calls me again. Hey, you still looking for a forklift? I'm like, no, but you never emailed me about the service. He's like, oh, yeah, I see it here. And then that was it. I never heard from him again.
Yeah, it seems like that's the thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've actually tried to get my forklift cert for work because I miss driving them around. So here being
you come here, you don't even need a certification. You just drive.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's like everywhere else I've been too. But yeah, I miss being on one just for the time being.
Well, plus, take it for a spin before you leave.
Yeah, right. You could take the bike. I'll take the forklift.
Yeah, no. You can't crash a forklift. But you can crash a motorcycle.
You can crash a forklift. I have.
Well, it's got 4 wheels.
It's true. If you don't have it all the way up, too, you can't tip it over.
But our bikes actually go higher than the ceiling.
Really?
Yeah, like we can smash the forks if we want to.
Let's try not to do that. Yeah, but that's because it's, I guess you could say corporate, professional.
Yes.
A lot of things you have to either be certified through them or have prior certifications for someone driving a fire truck. I had just gotten my review last week, so the thing on it, going forward was like, hey, sometimes drivers are busy. We got a lot of vehicles in here. I can't hop in one of these rescue things. One of them because of air brakes and stuff. So I was like, I want to get trained to be able to at least move around a lot because you need to have a seatbelt to move around on the property. The forklift cert is trying to get that scheduled hopefully before the end of this week, just so I can.
We have to go somewhere.
No, they have people
who come in.
People are already trained and are able to kind of give you that.
Like in-house at the...
Yeah. So the plant manager was actually the guy who did our driving test. So it was me and was really close there.
Certification, is it just like some BS thing or is there like some...
With that forklift one, I don't know about, but the fire truck one, I guess you could say that. I don't know if I could take that anywhere else. Yeah. But as long as for insurance cases on the property, if I move something and crash into it, they're covered and I'm covered.
Okay.
Because they said, hey, look, he did the test. He passed the test. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a bullshit test, but just step on your fire truck.
Like when people talk about a forklift certified, like
well, like Costco and stuff, you have to. Anything.
But who's the agency that
stuff? So yeah. So the guy who's going to train me is our parts guy. He's OSHA certified. Even that wasn't good enough for the company. They wanted to make sure that, I guess because they have their regulations, like how it would operate. Like, there's not that much room in this place. Well, there's a lot of room in this place, but there's not that much room for error with forklifts, especially when you're going around with some of these big pieces or come with a big plywood board and stuff like that. I mean, you make one small.
I dropped a sliding table saw right off the forks.
Did you?
I couldn't pick it up right. I hadn't driven a forklift in like 3 years. That was my first course. And the slider inside the shop.
In one piece.
Yeah, and the door is 10 feet. 15 feet.
That and a couple of Harbor Freight guys. Yeah.
Well, no, but
not all of them. One survived.
We have machinery skates. They're supposed to come today.
those things. It's like all these like certs and stuff like that. So the only certification that I can use anywhere is, they call it the 609 certification. So that's for refrigerant. So I can now handle it without being fined or going to jail.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah. So you can't just like go to an auto parts place and say, "Hey, I want to touch my AC system." Like, you're not allowed to. It's actually it's a really big fine.
Like those pink tanks of Freon or whatever, like, can't just go.
So now I'm legally certified through, I guess, at least New Jersey, or I guess even out of New Jersey, to without repercussion.
I guess because it's such a bad pollutant that it's...
Yeah, it's really bad too. Like the dyes, the Freon itself, the off gassing, and then also like kind of like turns the nitrogen almost. Like, I was hooking up an AC system a couple months ago, and we kept getting a fail for it, and we're like what the hell's happening? Like, we pulled everything apart, and when I say pull everything apart, I mean it's like a day and a half worth of work to redo an AC system, because it's not just the truck's AC system. There's another HVAC system that's at the ambulance box for all the other, controls for it. So we're like searching, like, did we forget an O-ring? Did we not crimp something down correctly? Just everything. And then we didn't realize what it was until, like, I'm finally just feeling doing another test, and my hand got really cold, like it hurt. Like, what the fuck happened? And there's a small pinhole in one of the metal fittings, like right where you go to fill the system, like just frosting over, like you get frostbite if you left your hand there. But yeah, it's pretty nasty stuff. And if you dye the system, you can't get the dye out of you. Like, if you get it in your clothes, throw them out.
What's the dye for? A tracer?
Yeah, I feel like there's an issue. Like, if there's a leak, then you gotta find where the leak is coming from. Sometimes, like, for instance, this situation, it was such a, like, bizarre incident where it's like they've never had a fitting crack before. Because, I'm putting it together, I get all the problematic things. And sure enough, like, where they had soldered the joint, it had just cracked. Like, you would never know unless the system was, like, fully under pressure and you had your hand there. Or if you had just happened to look to notice that, oh, hey, this thing is frosting over. Why is it frosting over? But yeah, the dye would be like if you're, your old Volkswagen. The AC used to be cold, but now it's not cold anymore. Yeah. It's usually a leak somewhere. So use a UV light to find out where it's coming from, and then go from there. Same thing like when they put, dye in the oil. Where is it coming from? Throw some dye in the oil, and then you wash it all off and wait for it to come back, and you have to find out where it's coming from.
I don't even know if it is that.
Yeah.
Me either. It's like the mystery of my broken power steering.
Oh yeah, whatever.
The squirrels got in there too.
Why? You guys feed them all the time?
They weren't even. They weren't liking the peanuts last time we were through.
Move back over there.
So what's the game plan for the old shop?
There is no game plan.
What wants to put someone in there?
Really?
I just keep kicking that kid.
Just gotta let it go.
I got my snowblower in there.
It's true.
Put a hot tub in there.
No,
A tech screen TV.
I'm not up to that part yet.
You
have to get some tools. They're all here.
I've been to it since you guys moved, so is it like empty?
It's empty. It's in there. It's all
All
trash.
the shit that we didn't
Some
clean up
sawdust.
yet.
Yeah.
We got to get there.
But I had to replace the faucet in the upstairs bathroom. I kind of looked at the house.
That's the
Because,
worst.
I got used to having everything.
Yeah, that's why, since this move, it's been, like, really hard for me to be like, I do things for myself. Because there's nothing close by to me anymore. Like, I live in an apartment. So some days we'll, like, go and have to fix something out in the parking lot. But it's like, I really have to remember, like, every single tool I'm going to need.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever I do right now, I need to make sure that, like, if I have to get something, I have a way to go out and get something, because otherwise I'm stranded.
Yeah, and you feel like you're out in the open. There's what the hell's Manny doing out there? Yeah, you got no privacy.
But then, like, even, trying to get the cigar stand and stuff, it's just, like, just the motivation from, like, the day-to-day to, like, go completely out of the way to go to a shop and not know, like, what people are already doing there and stuff like that. Like, just with all the stress of, like, taking on a new job and obviously life and everything else, it's just been, like, I got to find that motivation again.
Yeah.
But so I completely understand, like, having an empty shop and not having any tools with you.
Yeah,
It's like,
I forgot all about it. It didn't even cross my mind that I didn't have, because,
Yeah, it's a pair of channel locks. Like, they should be in the kitchen anyway.
Yeah, just because for 2 decades, I had every tool that I needed.
20 feet away. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely going to take some getting used to, right?
See, me, I'd be too lazy to walk outside and out to the shop. I'd have a whole other set
Jeff
down in
had
the basement.
2 pairs.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I've just been, like, slowly building, like, a little toolkit at home.
That's what I figured I was going to have to do, is just,
take have something.
Yeah.
Your emergency
You want a
kit.
Kennedy Kids toolbox? I got 3 of them.
Go to Tractor
Who
Supply.
knows?
They got little kits.
No,
Get one of those pink hammers that's like 6 inches long.
Oh my god.
I used that thing that your dad gave me the other day.
No.
That it's still in my truck. I think that's even the second truck it's been in. I went to the bank on Saturday because I had to get money out to buy that rack.
Yeah.
And so I had Hunter with me, and we went to Five Below, and he got like this little like cowboy like cap gun kind of thing. And I didn't have my knife. It's like one of the rare times I didn't have my knife with me. So I used that to cut open the package.
He would be
It was
so
the first
proud.
time I used it.
He'd be so proud right now.
Like 3 years it's probably been in my truck, maybe more. No, more. Because I was at Tom's when you gave that to me.
I mean, you guys know my dad, but like anyone listening that knows my dad knows the enjoyment he would get out of. I wish people could have seen like what he gave you, but
It's like a multi-tool, like a hammer with like a glass breaker and like a pliers, but it's like all...
it's one of those novelty
total doodad.
things
Yeah.
that you would get at a book fair when you were a kid to give to your dad.
It's from like World Subaru or something.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was just like something from an auction.
It said World Subaru on the...
Oh,
You got to tell him I used it.
I'm going to.
Lou said he's doing good.
Well, yeah, I actually just saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
He's got the COVID, but he's completely fine.
What a shocker.
Yeah,
He's like the
he won't
Energizer
stop.
Bunny.
He will not stop. Yeah, we were out on the bike yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Let me just stop by and see him, And then for 20 minutes, his excitement over the fact that he keeps letting his car battery die because he doesn't understand the fact that, like, leaving doors open or leaving a radio on is going to drain your battery, and it's wintertime. It's going to drain even faster, and it's an old battery. So the first time it happened, it was like one of the coldest nights we had. He calls me. He's like, he's at Walmart for something. And he's like, I don't know what happened. I came out to start the car and it just won't turn on now. And I'm like, all right, so it's a dead battery. Jump it. I can't find the battery. And I'm like, oh, here we go. It's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Like I'm ready to just be inside, not go out in the cold. He's like, I got my elderly neighbor with me too, because, they live in a senior living place. And I'm like, why? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Sure enough, I get there. He's a hoarder. He loves having his junk with him because it's all of his treasures, He's an old Portuguese man, for the people that don't know. Like, never had anything growing up. And even to this day, like, never really had anything for himself. So, like, I understand it. I bust his balls about it, but, I get it. But I'm like, I can't even get to the battery now to try to jumpstart the goddamn thing because he's got too much shit in there and you can't pop the hatch because it's all electronic, which blows my mind that we're still in the day and age of where if your battery dies, you're kind of SOL on doing a lot of things. So we found
the releases. Yeah, I guess they are now.
Yeah, a lot of things. There's no mechanical, like even on my car, if my battery dies, I can't get into my trunk unless I go in through the back seats. Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
It is.
So, ironically enough, we show up and we're pulling her Jeep up to jumpstart the car because we found posts on inside the engine bay, and this dude pulls up in a pickup truck and he's like, "Oh, you guys all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just need to jumpstart my dad's car." And he's like, "Oh, you got a jump pack?" And I'm like, "No, we're just gonna use the truck real fast." He's like, "Oh, here, give me a second." Super nice guy. Pulls out this like little USB jump starter, which I'm familiar with him. I don't have one. But he's like, yeah, I got it from Walmart, started the thing immediately. And of course, my dad saw it and was just like the world's best
Enamored.
magic trick he had ever seen in his life. Like someone just handed him a gold bar for the first time. Just this cheapo $30 USB jump starter. So I told him, I was like, listen, go get a new battery. You got to get a new battery. Don't keep fucking around with the car. Like, I'm not going to keep coming out to save your ass every night, Like, you're old enough. You were a mechanic. You understand. Okay? So I guess over the weekend, he's been selling stuff over at Collingswood Auction. He's like, calls me. He's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. The car died again. I'm like, well, where are you? He's like, I'm at Collingswood Auction. I'm like, okay. Like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. I had the radio on with the car off. I'm like, well, now you know why the car died.
You got to hook him up with an auxiliary battery.
Well, no. So I guess the table next to him, the guy was selling some like Chinese knockoff USB battery, starters, or the car starters. So he saw them and immediately picked up 2 of them. And he was like, just so, like, if you could see this man's face of enjoyment.
Now he can keep the radio on, let it die, and just jump it.
Yeah, well, that's what he said he's probably going to do until he gets a new battery. He's like, oh, no, I got my USB thing now.
I mean, the price of a battery is the same as 2 of those things.
He only paid like $40 for them. He got, like I said, this is from the auction. Like, you're not buying anything name brand at this auction.
Oh, yeah. Man, so I went there. We took Hunter, and it like had rain the night before, and then they just like left everything out. There's like clothes are just like soaking wet,
and they're still going to sell it for $30.
Yeah, the prices were insane. What people wanted.
I love going there sometimes just for like a morale booster.
Yeah, you
know
do.
How low everybody.
Yeah, I mean, not even to like talk shit or anything, but like,
great.
But yeah, I mean, you know from where you came from to
that's right.
This is the road we should have been on.
Yeah, this could have been me.
This is what we should have been doing, but we somehow made something of ourselves.
Right. we made it.
We were there. There was one guy, and Allie had bought a book, like it was like a vintage like Wizard of Oz or whatever, and the guy's like, he was like some Eastern European guy. He's like, oh, your wife can read. That's good.
We don't have many of those around here.
He's like, most of them can only count money. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, can't say that kind of stuff.
Yeah, can't even count the amount of teeth in there.
Especially to my wife, she'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
Oh man,
when's the last time you went to an auction?
Oh god, it's been a long time, but I know exactly what you said.
It's glorious. I mean, I go there sometimes just to see, because there's some guys out there with tools that acquired these tools.
Yeah, and
I
used to love going in California. Used to go to one all the time.
I can only imagine how good those were.
Yeah,
I mean, here it's nice because like when the season hits for them, I mean they're huge.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the Englishtown one. There's the one in Farmingdale, the Columbus one.
Yeah, that one's supposed to be good. I've never been to that.
Really?
Yeah, Collingwood was a total bust when we went.
Yeah,
it's just all junk. Even the tools, it's like, they're old, but it's just like old junk,
Yeah. And it's funny that we talk about this, and we just said what we said about it, but like when I was a kid, I used to have to be there. I used to have to be there. Like my dad and mom would have a table out there.
Okay.
So it's just like you lived it, and now you're reliving it from a totally different perspective, and like
you're on the other side of the table.
So ashamed.
Like I made it out.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a good time though.
Some people, and they sell such weird stuff.
Yeah. Like
an amalgamation of things that have no relation to one another.
No, like you could go buy 30-year-old work boots, but then go buy a brand new Barbie princess doll from the same guy.
Yeah. He's like, well, this is what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people that they're scrappers.
Yeah. Yeah, which that's still my dad, whatever. Yeah. If it makes him happy, it makes him happy, He's lived a long life.
Yeah, he's defied the odds, that's for sure.
Still defying them.
Yeah.
Still defying them.
It's amazing every time I think about it.
Yeah.
You ever watch that show Last of Us that's real popular right now?
I've heard about it. I never watched it.
Anyway, there's like a zombie kind of like apocalypse thing, but this one girl...
Oh, it's the one based off the video game, right?
Yeah, like she's immune, like she got bit, but she never turned into like this zombie. That's like your dad. It's like he's got this special thing in his blood where he's just like... he's got like some type of...
Yeah, we don't...
My favorite little anecdote with your dad is when we were both working over there at Tom's, and he was trying to repair some dental work with Bondo.
Oh, it's dentures, with the Bondo.
With the Bondo.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I think you were in the back with me helping with painting or something.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Put that in your mouth?
He wasn't even working there anymore.
Oh,
he showed up. He just went to the assembly table, starts mixing up Bondo, and like we're all scratching our heads because he like said what's up and everything, but like we're like, all right, maybe he just is fixing like another little like that was his thing after he left there.
Fix little things.
Yeah,
and stuff
because
like
living in that senior place, he's a chatty Cathy.
Yeah.
He'll make friends with anybody.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and he's a flirt. I mean, to this day, he'll still go to a strip club and talk to these girls and they'll love him.
Yeah.
Okay. So no matter where he goes, he's a hit. So we figured he's He's just coming in to fix like probably like a little trinket box or something. No, he pulls his teeth out and he's mixing up behind them to fucking fix the stitcher. So we're like, no, you cannot do that. Like, I know.
Yeah, that is. Do you smell it? That smell says, don't put this inside your body.
Who cares? I'm just gonna put it. They're gonna fall out anyway.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. Yeah, since I left Tom's.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, it like the dark thing about it was like he's been going through a lot of stuff, obviously. I mean, you guys know, but like we thought we were going to lose him before we lost, my mom back in September. And then after she passed, we're like, there's no way he's making it through this. And here he is.
I know.
He's even yesterday, he's like, oh, let me take the bike out. You're not. You can back up and down the stairs with your chick bikes. There's no tangent. Also, like, go back to Portugal. I used to ride bikes all the time. I'm like, those bikes. I don't. There's not even a comparison.
It's like a moped.
It's literally a BMX bike with like a little weed whacker motor on it compared to like you hopping on this thing.
I don't think you could hold it up.
Yeah.
No, well, actually, I do have a picture of him sitting on it, but I had the key far enough away because. Jerk tried to fucking start it to pull away on him. I was like, no, I knew he was going to try to pull something.
Probably no helmet, nothing.
No, dude, he's crazy. He's like Evil Knievel still.
Oh my God.
But, I mean, a paper cut's going to kill the guy.
What a piece of work. Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, he came over. We had him over for Thanksgiving dinner. And, Manny fashion, he got this watch, which... means nothing to us, but like to him, just looks like this flashiest watch you could ever get. Right? Like, just this gem you found in the garbage can because obviously somebody didn't need it anymore. Yeah. So he's like just so about it, he won't stop showing it off. And then I'm like, what's on your wrist? Like, he's like, oh, I'm bleeding, and I'm like, why are you bleeding? Like, you're in my apartment bleeding. Why? Like, what are you doing right now? It's Thanksgiving dinner. Like, what the hell's going on? He's like, oh, the watch, it's got a sharp edge on it. It cut me. I'm like, take the fucking thing off then. Like, what are you doing?
You won't take it off, though.
He was already bleeding because, he's like on all the blood thinners and stuff. He was already bleeding hours beforehand. Then I talked to him the next day. Like, he didn't stop bleeding until 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, did you take the watch off? He's like, no, I just put something under it so it doesn't rub against my skin. And I'm like, you gotta be like, there's no helping this man. There's no helping him.
Yeah.
You're laughing right now, probably because you're thinking of like the watch that he's wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's just like, we would look at it and just be like, what the hell is that piece of shit? And
but
to him, it's the best Rolex he's ever got. It's amazing to like.
If you live that life, if you grow up around those kind of people, or just, it's funny because you know it.
Yeah,
you know it.
You're not used to it. You know, it's a totally different world.
Yeah,
he grew up in Portugal and stuff. Yeah.
Sometimes I tell my wife about stuff like that is like second nature, normal to me. It's like, oh yeah, like when we had to I lived in an apartment where the refrigerator was like out on the back porch,
What? That was a thing?
Yeah, because the kitchen was too small to fit a refrigerator in it, so they put it on the back stair landing.
I got a second fridge on my porch.
All right. Relaxed over there, Mr.
One
Privilege.
in the kitchen, one on the porch.
Mr. Privilege over there.
And it's a closed-in porch.
Yeah. Oh, you have a closed-in porch.
Well, it's unconditioned, but there's a door.
Is it a fridge or a freezer?
It's a fridge.
Do you have like one of those big freezers for meats and stuff?
No.
Really?
It's the old
fridge.
Yeah.
Oh,
got a new fridge.
Old fridge. They got a new refrigerator.
It's a seltzer fridge.
That's
all that's in there.
So it's not as highfalutin as you're imagining.
Oh no, it's.
Do you remember Back to the Future?
It's super white trash.
Yeah. Did you watch Back to the
Future? My porch fridge?
No, it's been a while since I've been over there.
Yeah,
it's been there for a long time.
Okay, well, I try not to pay attention to your privilege. Okay, 2 fridges, but no. So Back to the Future. Remember, he doesn't have 2 TVs. Nobody has 2 TVs.
Yeah, I got a white fridge from the 70s on my porch.
I could have sworn you would have had like one of those big like chest style freezers.
No, I do have meat in the freezer on the porch, in porch fridge, but nothing crazy. I got a turkey in there that we got for free around Thanksgiving, which God knows when I'm going to cook that.
Yeah.
What about when you guys go on this fishing trip? You're not going to bring home anything?
We gotta get lucky.
Yeah. I don't think you can keep the steelhead in DSR. You don't want to eat that fish anyway.
No? Because I have 2 pieces sitting in my fridge right now. Well, my freezer.
Lake Ontario is, not that clean.
No?
There's like a power plant,
Oh, I don't know much
They're
about it.
to only eat 3 ounces of fish a week. It's like, if
Is
they
that
say
what
that,
they
it's
say?
like something like that, or
Oh,
8
God.
ounces. It's like, then you should just not eat it at all.
Yeah.
It's like eating the fish by a 3 Mile Island, huh?
Yeah. Like, if you have to limit your consumption of the fish, that you should just limit it to 0.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I'm pretty sure the fish I have. So when I first started there, one of my coworkers, he's super big into it as well.
Yeah, you were telling me he goes
And
up there.
I think it's the same exact spot you guys are going to, but he brings back a ton,
Mm-hmm.
So I have a piece of salmon, and then they have the trout up there, right?
Yeah, there's steelhead, which is like a rainbow trout. There's coho, which is another kind of salmon.
I know it's just a piece of king salmon,
King
right?
salmon, yeah.
And then I can't remember what the other piece is. It's a little lighter color.
Probably steelhead.
Okay, that might be what
Yeah.
it is then.
The section, we go to this section of river called Douglaston Salmon Run, and it's a 2.5 mile private. Like, they own you obviously can't own the water, but they own the river bank for 2.5 miles. And I'm pretty sure the steelhead is catch and release only.
Okay.
So there won't be any salmon when we go up there. But the salmon, dude, the second they get into the river, they start to die. Because that's what they do. They're going in to spawn, and then they all die.
Mhm.
There's a handful that don't die.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
zombie fish.
Yeah, so like the meat starts to break down the second they get into the river. Douglaston Salmon Run is the first section of river. So if you get all the way up to the top of the river, like that salmon's been dying for like 8 miles by the time it got up to the
decrepit fish.
Oh yeah, you'll see them in the water. They look like a zombie.
Really? That I see. I've never got to experience that.
Yeah, they turn like white, and they're like literally like picture a zombie fish. And
That's
you
the
can see
3 ounces
fish
of fish you're going to eat.
Yeah. So
And you-
grew up next to a power plant, and now it's a zombie.
Oh my god!
Like the
I mean, I've
Simpsons.
eaten it. It's not.
That's where your eye twitch is coming from.
Yeah, it could be. It's not twitching right now.
It's also your second time fly fishing now, right?
Yeah. I'm an outdoorsman.
Start planning now for next April.
Yes, we were talking about that. We were talking about that because she's upset because that's all she wants to do is go fly fishing. I mean, you guys can
Start
take her all you
practicing,
want.
Yeah, well, I
She'll
don't know
cheer
if we
your
can
ear
handle
off,
that.
but she's a good fisherman. She outfishes me every time, so
She's the turtle man.
she's.
Yeah, I don't think they have turtles. Well, at least not this time of year. Oh, I don't know. I guess
I've
April will be warm enough.
Never met anyone who was more obsessed with alligator snapping turtles and crocodiles than her. Like, we went to this reptile expo a few months ago out in Pennsylvania, and we knew there might be some crocodiles and alligators there, and I had to really be prepared for that because I was like, if she sees one, we're gonna go home with an alligator.
Oh my God.
Like, not even kidding. And then sure enough, there was some. And
I think you sent me a picture
yeah,
of an alligator.
believe it or not, I wanted to leave with one more than she did. They were like the cutest little things, and they were super docile. Like, even Gage held one, and my kid doesn't like anything, and he was holding a little tiny alligator. You know,
But they grow up to be big alligators.
not these. I mean, well, yes and no. They 4 foot, 3 foot. I mean,
So it's like a caiman, or is it an actual alligator?
There's American alligators. And then I don't think there was any caimans there, but there's like so many different, I guess, species of them.
Yeah.
They have like the dwarf ones.
I didn't think you could own those.
You can. So that's the thing. In Pennsylvania, you can own them. And a lot of other
You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. So the
That's
problem is,
Florida North.
yeah, if you get caught within in New Jersey, then it's a big deal. Like what just happened, I think maybe I told you about it. It was like a couple months ago. Somebody randomly found an alligator in Neptune in a Tupperware container. Like, you guys know Neptune.
Oh, yeah.
Neptune is not a very nice place. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's
some
like,
nice spots of it.
Like urban, suburban.
It's ghetto.
Yeah.
It's very ghetto. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And to find a American alligator in a big storage bin out in the winter night, it was like, you know, and that's why somebody dumped it, because you can't bring it to a vet or anything because probably lock you up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, they grow to a point where it's like, well, I can't handle this alligator anymore. What the hell am I going to do with it?
Well, that's the sad thing about it is you stunt their growth, limit their food intake and their enclosure. So anything is only going to grow with what it can grow into.
Yeah.
It's like a goldfish.
That's like when I was a kid, one of the big things was getting little chicks and things like that for Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a horrible idea.
Well, where I live.
Yeah, it was Brooklyn, right?
What do you do with them when they're big then?
Was this in Brooklyn?
Yeah, well, actually, the time I do remember was on Long Island.
Okay.
And apparently there was this McDonald's or something like that where it was by a stream or some kind of thing of water.
Is this where they're getting the chicken nuggets from?
This is where everybody would bring them. And I remember we put them in like a garbage can and brought them over there. Like, dumped them in.
Like into the water?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Like chickens?
No, they were ducks.
Oh, okay.
They were ducks.
You just took away McDonald's?
So they swam away?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said chick, so I thought it was a chicken.
Yeah, that's
just
why I was like
drowning it. Like, we didn't want it anymore, so we just drowned it in the river.
Soggy chicken nugget.
No. Isn't that, what's a big, a duckling.
Duckling, yeah.
Duckling, okay, yeah.
Is that the, actual name, right?
I
Duckling?
think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the ugly duckling, Duckling, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of threw us both for a loop when you said the chicks.
Chicks, yeah.
Like, man, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we have that tegu.
Yeah.
That giant 3-foot lizard we have at home.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
She's like a cat, literally just nuzzles up to you and will fall asleep. It was funny, a little while ago, we actually brought her out for the first time. We went, because you can walk them. So we said, screw it, we're going to have to get used to her
you got
being
a
on
leash and stuff like that?
Yeah, we went to PetSmart one night, and, we walk in with this giant lizard on us, and, we're picking out, a little dog harness for it, and we put her on the leash, and she immediately, starts freaking out. She only walks backward, because she's not used to it.
Trying to walk out of it, probably.
Yeah, so we get that, and we kind of get her used to it. Yeah, that's what it was, a cat harness, sorry.
You're going to have to listen back a couple episodes. We did a whole episode.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, God.
We read Amazon reviews, and we found this guy, and we read all of his reviews. They were all of, toupees and cat harnesses.
Was he a furry?
No, he was a weirdo, though.
It's like a little sweater.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a little jumpsuit.
For the cats.
So the cat couldn't get out of it.
Oh, he's one of them.
Yeah. He, let's say he likes a clip on his cell phone case. And if it doesn't come with a clip, you're going to know about it.
It's one of the old leather ones with that really nasty plastic cover on it.
Yeah. He freaked out. He's like, who sells a phone case with no belt clip?
Oh, God.
And he's got 6 paper towel holders in his apartment.
And he's probably got 5 pens in his pocket at all times.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a strange bird.
Well, we kind of felt like that this day, though. So we go to PetSmart that night, which is, you could walk in there with a steer if you wanted to, So lizard's not really, I mean, granted, it was a pretty big lizard, but then that Saturday, we had kind of made a promise to the people at Harley, because, we're pretty friendly with all of them now, that, we'll come in day with her so you guys can meet her, because who doesn't want to see a giant lizard?
Yeah. At what place?
At Harley.
Oh, Harley.
Yeah, Shoreline. So we bring her over there, and then at the same time, we're out and about. We were trying to find Gage, my son, a new bed and stuff. So I was like, screw it. Do we just call Ashley's right now and be like, hey, there's animals allowed in the store? So we kind of felt like these people, can't go anywhere without your animal. So I call, and I'm on the phone, and I'm like, do you guys allow pets in your store? And she's like, yeah. I was like, is there any restrictions? And she's like,
yes, goodbye.
She was like, what is it? And I'm like, well, it's a lizard, but it's a really tame lizard. It's not going to be crawling around the floor. It's not going to do anything. And she's like, hold on. And a couple minutes go by, and I'm like, she definitely hung up on me. She comes back, and she's like, it's not going to go to the bathroom anywhere, right? And I'm like, no. And she's like, it's not going to attack anybody, right? And I'm like, no. I'm like, it's like a puppy dog, but it's just scaly. She's like, all right, yeah, you can come by, but once we see it, we'll have to let you know. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then we, ended up going to Ashley's with our 3-foot lizard chopping around, and everybody was all like, "Oh, let's see here," and blah blah blah. Like, it totally blew their minds. That, like, you know,
That's the kind of thing you see like on the internet where like some Karen like calls the cops.
Yeah. You don't let my poodle in the Starbucks. We weren't trying to be those people, but it was just like, we're already out and about.
Yeah.
Like, we're literally going to go past the furniture place to go back home. There's no point in dropping her off. If they're going to let us, you know, go in, then who cares?
Yeah, you don't want to like leave it in the car either.
Yeah, no, definitely won't do that.
Be like crawled up inside the
dash.
Yeah.
She would have destroyed my leather. She's got some claws on her. But what made you guys go down the whole avenue of looking up cat reviews or sweater reviews?
It was by accident. Well, we were looking up Google reviews.
We were going to do tool reviews on Amazon because we I don't know, we just didn't have any topic in mind. And then it was just showing like things that I had already bought. So Bounty paper towels was one, and we clicked on it, and the guy's like going on this whole diatribe about how they changed where they're trying to pass off these like bad Bounty paper towels. 6 paper towel holders. So I went to the other one, and I could feel it. It was like long. So we clicked on the guy's profile and just read like.
Imagine being that pissed off about a paper towel.
He went on and on. Then we found another guy who would buy like Eddie Van Halen guitar picks and like give them out to kids.
On a Google review.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yes.
What? Like he would buy them on there?
Yeah, he's like, I don't use these when I play, but I keep them in my vest and give them away to kids in the store.
You should have seen his face doing cartwheels.
Yeah,
oh
practically
God.
doing backflips.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can only imagine.
Oh.
Yeah, go back to episode. It must have been 24.
Oh man.
Yeah,
24?
2 weeks ago.
Okay, I'll have to listen
It's
to
called
that
Greene
one.
Street Does Amazon.
Was there a guest on that one, or was it just...
No, it was just us.
Okay. That was Amazon. You should do one, but do it for like buildings or businesses you're not sure of.
We've
That
done
is a
it.
gold mine right there.
We've done Google reviews where we just like we're like, let's do the Dairy Queen in Cincinnati, Ohio. And we go and we've gone down some rabbit holes.
I don't remember what it was or why we were doing it, but I think I had a buddy. He was asking me about something about when was the last time you were over in Farmingdale, like Hollingswood area?
Oh, long time.
Okay, you're still familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
You know that bookstore across the street, the adult store
across the street from Collingswood.
Yeah, like
no, I don't never noticed it.
So if you were coming this way, going down, what is that? That's 33. I think
so.
There's that bookstore right there. You know, bookstore, quote unquote. Yeah. And then you would have to go around to come back to go to the auction. So you would always have to pass it unless you lived south. But I don't remember why we Googled it, but we Googled it, and the reviews for that place are definitely worth it. Okay.
We found a lady who was like reviewing like this burger place, and she's like, yeah, the burger was no good, blah, blah, blah. And then, she was a vegetarian and something, whatever. She was bitching about this place because she was a vegetarian, whatever. And then we go to her other thing. She's reviewing like a barbecue place. Yeah, and I'm like, this lady's she's a faker.
She's getting paid to do it.
I don't know.
Because doesn't like Amazon pay you to do that kind of stuff?
Well, these were just on Google. The Hooters ones were hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine.
Tiffany was amazing. We had my husband started off with the cha-cha wings, and then but it was so funny.
So they're swingers?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, what the hell? It's what the hell's the name of that one? You have to Google it though one day and literally go through some of the reviews.
It's not like the Love Shack or something.
It is Love Shack, yes.
Because there's one in Tom's River.
It is Love Shack. Definitely worth it though.
The Love Shack.
If you're not
Love Shack.
If you're open-minded and obviously not blind
over
to the
18.
world. Yes, definitely over 18. Look up the Love Shack in Farmingdale, New Jersey. And please look at the Google reviews for it.
Oh man. Can only imagine.
Well, we've been at it for almost 2 hours here.
Already?
Yeah, hour and 45.
And to think I was going to say we're going to cut this one short today, right?
Well, last time we did about 4 hours if you include the after show, where we discovered that our waitress's name was Choi.
Oh my God, that's right.
Or I don't know, did we discover it on that episode or did we just talk about it? I don't remember.
So long.
That was our first Patreon episode. We don't do that anymore.
You don't do Patreon?
We have it. It's just too much work. So we just give nothing.
Okay.
So if you're interested, you can join our Patreon and support the show.
Yeah, the whole, like, all the podcast stuff, like, I just, knowing that I was going to have to start the new place and you can't have headphones and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I can't listen to podcasts because I don't have an hour to be able to focus on something. Like, if I put on music, that's one thing.
Yeah,
It's in the background.
Yeah.
But, like, if I was to put on a podcast, it'll end. I'll have no idea what the hell they talked about.
Yeah, because you're trying to focus on something you need to focus on, and then you're trying to, like, pay attention and absorb everything you're hearing in the podcast.
I don't have, like, a long commute where I can, I'll catch one every now and then. If I have to do something, like sanding for a long time.
Go
or something
home,
like that.
eat dinner, take a shower.
Yeah, I try to limit my,
and
like...
That's it, bedtime.
I'm certainly not going home to listen to a podcast.
Yeah, well, that's my thing, because, like, now at this place, with the amount of people and the noises and everything else, it's just, like, the only thing I want to hear is nothing or the music I want to listen to, because having to listen to their radio there day in and day out.
Oh, God.
Is it like a hard rock station?
Oh, they do...
Or oldies?
They do throwback 80s. They do Hair Thursdays or something like that. Then there's Country Wednesday, which is...
Oh, so there's like
I'm not going to ruin this
theme.
Yeah, so it's every week is the same thing. So what I don't understand is, you're a music guy.
Yeah.
Radio stations. Why the hell do they keep playing the same shit
songs
they've been playing for 30 years?
Yeah, they play like the same schedule too. Like we used to listen to Q1043, and it was like at Tuesday at 9 a.m. they're going to play "Comfortably Numb" by Pink Floyd. It's like every week it's the same.
Yes.
They just play the same block of songs.
That's literally what this is.
I'll
It's
tell you
every
why.
week. Why?
It's because big conglomerates like Clear Channel bought up all these radio stations, so they're not independently owned anymore. And especially in a market like New York and this area, the percentage points of the what would you call it, the ratings are worth so much money that everything is, it's the McDonald's.
Totally standardized.
Yeah, it's the McDonald's theory. Like when people go to a town that they're not familiar with, instead of going to some cool place to eat, they go, oh, let's go to McDonald's because I know what I'm going to get. So it's not great, but I know what my Big Mac's going to taste like. And so everything is homogenized.
Yeah, it's painful, especially for me, who's like obviously has a very different taste in music and stuff like that. Like, and then there's some of the stuff that comes on. It's like, this place is filled with a bunch of like just what you would call manly men and mechanics and stuff like that.
They're
and
playing
you're
like
playing,
Katy Perry.
Yeah, literally. Like, Manic Monday. Like, what the
my
fuck
God.
is this shit? But then Country Wednesdays is my, I cannot. I cannot.
Modern country is about the most horrible thing going.
And having to listen to the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that'll kill you right there, too.
Yeah, it's that's the unfortunate part, is like having headphones is pretty frowned upon. Sometimes you kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
What about the like bone conductive ones like we have? They just sit right here. They don't go in your ears.
Oh, you got to get some.
Yeah. They don't go in your ears. They sit on your temple, and it conducts through your bones. So you can hear everything around you. If it's like really loud, you can't really hear that well. Like you can't hear the music that well.
See, I wonder if it's, I don't know if it's like, because obviously we have to wear hearing protection a lot.
They're made for like warehouses.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if it's just maybe because they don't want like us talking on the phone and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Definitely show me them before I leave today, though.
They're pretty cool. I kind of stopped using them just because, well, when we were doing the boxes, because compressor runs all day when we're cutting with the laser.
Yeah.
You can't hear with the compressor running. You can't hear anything.
You gonna box it in or leave it out?
Yeah.
The compressor?
Yeah.
I put a box around the top, but it didn't do anything.
No.
We just got to get a
quieter
different, bigger, quieter compressor.
Buy Tom's old one.
Yeah.
The one that let out the blue smoke. We better wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
You want to do that thing where you tell people where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, Instagram, Too Manny Mistakes, I guess.
200. Wait, TOO_Manny_mistakes.
Yeah.
You coming to Maker Camp this year?
It's been tossed around. Probably to sneak up there for a day.
You can ride the bike up.
That's what we're thinking. We're gonna probably
see the fall colors.
Yeah, because it's already booked up, isn't it?
No. I mean, you can get tickets. You can camp too.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to figure out. Is either if there's going to be a spot, because there was a hotel not too far away or something, right?
I think they still have they have hotels that they're affiliated with that are right down the street. That I think they still have rooms.
Yeah, because the drive, I don't remember the drive. It was 3.5 hours?
Yeah, something like that, maybe 4.
Yeah, so we've been tossing around the idea of possibly just leaving real early in the morning one day on the bike, going up there, spending a good amount of time there, and then just
we have 2 rooms again.
I think so. Yeah.
I missed that. We had the hot tub in the first one, right?
Yeah. We had a heart-shaped tub this year. Me and Allie's room.
Actually, there's all to myself.
There's a picture floating around of me and Bliss laying in it.
Oh my god!
There's no water though, and we were fully clothed.
Yeah, you guys could crash.
That's a disappointment.
Yeah,
that first one
subscribe
was
to OnlyFans to get the,
and then look up Love Shack.
Only plans. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Ciao.
Till next time.
The wife says hello.
Hello, wife.
As always, Rob and I thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. If you want to help support the podcast, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can join our Patreon, or you can use one of our affiliate links in the podcast description for vesting finishes. Again, we appreciate your support. Thanks for tuning in.